When you're working alongside, you know, someone that you care about and you love, you know, morals and values for me are really important. Just seeing that world, the whole music world for me was just very eye-opening and just quite intense. I mean, I would not change it for the world. You know, I've definitely experienced a lot. I've seen a lot. I've learned a lot.
For sure.
And again, that season of that 10 years in music was preparing me for wherever I'm going now. I was raised in a 6-people household, mum, dad and 4 siblings. And we're all very, very close. Like, you know, the way our parents raised us was to be close. You know, Nigerian households as well, they're very inclusive and, you know, very loving and, you know, there's no exclusion. As I've got older, I've realised not every community is like that. We're very much for each other and even extended family and extended friends, you know, that's how we are. But we've always been close. Me and my brother, we've always been really close. And I think just with him knowing my nature as a person, that caring, loving person, I think it was really important for me to be around at those kind of, you know, very important sort of key moments of his career and of his life. I guess I'd always been really into what he did. So I was always like pushing his work from because he was kind of street, you call it street famous, don't you? From when we were really young, like I think I was 15. I think he was like 16 and I was, because we're a year and 8 months apart. I'd always supported. That's just my nature as well. I love whoever I love and I support you like from my heart. So I think just him seeing the way I would I remember even getting a message from I think it was Dummy at Disturb in London, the guy that owns the company. And I think at the time his brother was doing some work and they were just saying, your marketing is next level. Like the way you're pushing the Tinie brand, the way, because I was always on Twitter in those times. They were like, we think you would be really good to come. It was them that approached me. Because at the time, the structure, there was literally like, 2-3 people in the business to come in and, you know, let's see what happens. It was just that. It was as simple as that. Come in and see what happens. I literally came in and just made the whole thing my own. Because I had to. And I wanted work. So if I had to make sure I had the longevity with the work, I had to keep going. I'd been on the project from just after Discovery. So literally throughout the whole time after Discovery. And then up until Youth and through everything else, because we didn't only do music bits, we did fashion bits. We tapped into fashion, so I always remember every year, I never had a break. You know, Christmas time in music, people usually have 2 weeks off. But as soon as we'd get the Christmas break, I'd go straight into because Fashion Week starts first week of Jan. So I'd go straight into like preparing for that. So we worked with like Burberry and Dolce & Gabbana. And Mercedes as well. So those were like 3 key brands that we were working with on a regular basis. But great experience, and I wouldn't change it for the world. When we created What We Wear, we did how many shows? So we did 2 runway shows. We hosted a dinner and we did a presentation as well. So we did 4. We actually went to Milan in, I think, 2019. Because Tinie walked the runway. And so did a guy, we were managing a guy called Shamel Kendrick. I believe I'm definitely going to change the world in whatever way I'm called to do it. Like, I know it. It's not even a belief. I know it. It's knowledge. But I just don't know what, I can't kind of predict what that is going to look like. I don't know if it would be starting something like that or literally, I don't know, or just being who I am. And, you know, connecting with people like you and having conversations like this. Or through my coaching work, or through my consult. I just don't know, but I know I'm going to change the world. So that event is an event that I'm doing with a company called Soho Sonic and Soho House. And I'm basically consulting for the companies, bringing together young, fresh talent in
Yeah.
front of industry professionals
Yeah.
on a panel, and the industry professionals basically judge
Judge
the
it,
music, but in a very constructive and positive way.
Yeah.
And that's so we're doing them every quarter. It's a continuous event that we're doing, and I'm basically hosting the panel, and I'm just helping them find the panelists, and you know. I love working from home, but I also love having the flexibility of, you know, working from my brother's house and being in a different space, different area, different vibe. I love that. Also, I have friends that live in the country, so sometimes I can go there. I've got the sea, I've got a different view, different vibe, and then I've got Soho House that I go to work from sometimes. It's always good to start my day from there, because then I can go to the gym and swim. I go to Shoreditch House, and I use the gym there, and I swim, and then I kind of start my day. But what I love about the work that I do is just the flexibility around my own time, if that makes sense. So even if I know I have an hour and a half slot free in the day, then I know I can go and work out, use the gym. Then most of my work is on the phone or on emails, or occasionally meeting people. I think it just works for me. And the reason why I'm even emphasizing this is because there was a long time in my life where I was just working ridiculously, where I just, that pandemic, 2020, I needed it. I know it sounds mad, but I just needed to stop.
Is this when you started? In the pandemic?
This is when I started Into the Light. Well, I did start recording it as a podcast. So I released a podcast on Apple and Spotify, and it actually got really good traction, but I just couldn't really keep up with it because I was doing it alongside so many other things. But it was called Into the Light. Yeah, it was really good. The podcast was really good for confidence. I think sometimes when you're behind the scenes, and remember what I said earlier, like being in front of the camera or like talking, for me has always been a big thing for me. But the podcast helped me come out of that comfort zone. I remember when my first episode, I was like sweating.
Were you filming it? Or
we filmed some of it and took pictures, but it was mainly just audio. But I just remember sitting with the guy, and I was literally nervous, like, and he was like, "Why are you so nervous?" But it was such a good way for me to come out of that comfort zone. My website is Into the Light First, so the word first, Into the Light First.co.uk, and my Instagram is Kelly, so Kelly Okogwu, Okogwu, and my LinkedIn is the same as my Instagram.